So I've been noticing this pattern recently where movies are really good at developing this high-level concept and then tend to underdeliver on the story elements and the character development. What's up, doggies? I'm Morgan. Today we're diving in on the 2026 film Tuner. If you want to get in on more reviews, film analysis, etc., please subscribe to this channel. So big picture, Tuner is a story about how an exceptional talent can be both your greatest gift and the thing that traps you. This story is kind of similar to these crime thrillers like Place Beyond the Pines or Drive. This premise almost felt tailor-made to me. It kind of fell into this category that I really do enjoy. So Tuner is the first narrative film for Academy Award-winning documentarian Daniel Rohr. Dustin Hoffman returns in one of his late career roles at 88 years old. Tuner also feels like a leading man showcase for emerging talent and UK actor Leo Woodall. So the first thing we're diving in on here is that there was such an originality behind the concept, and then there was such a recycled approach in the execution of it. The hyperacusis piano tuner, his talent is somewhat synonymous with this talent you need for safecracking, becomes involved with this crime circle, gets in over his head, meets this girl, gets caught, finds redemption, end of story. It kind of seemed like the same story copy and pasted from any crime thriller that I've ever experienced. I feel like in stories like these, I want to sit in some more moral ambiguity. The whole time it's always presented as, you know this is wrong, they know this is wrong, they're still doing it. And Tuner really keeps all those themes and story beats extremely straightforward. And I almost wonder if we're becoming so hyper-focused on this elevator pitch and keeping that fresh, and then when it comes to the delivery and the story mechanics, we're just recycling the same tropes that we've seen again and again. One thing I thought that was really compelling about this film was their use of sound as an experiential device that brings you closer to the main character's experiences with this hearing disorder. There's so many moments of like sudden sonic overload, or these moments where he's cracking the safe, where the sound design transports you into his perspective. This isn't just like good sound design, it's this creation of like a sonic landscape that's also a storytelling device. It's a good example of show me, don't tell me. So the report card for this thing, the first one, we got the editing. You know, the editing wasn't really either standout or detracting from the story for me. There were some standout moments. These sequences where he's cracking the safes, I thought really leaned into more editorial flair. I really enjoyed those. So this thing is landing at a B+ for me. The story, honestly, I think was one of the weakest points of this whole entire film. A lot of the plot points were extremely recycled, extremely generic, and throughout the whole plot, I could literally predict what was going to happen each time, and a lot of the occurrences felt rather contrived to me as well, especially in the end where the watch belonged to the maestro somehow. This thing is gonna land at around a C for me. There was so much more room to explore this idea or create scenes that added depth to the characters, or just not have a storyline that was so obvious. Okay, so for characters, the Leo Woodall leading man performance, I feel like the screenplay was a little bit undercooked and underdeveloped in this department. He was largely on the same emotional register the entire time. Havana Rose was the female lead for this. She delivered this warmth and compassion, while also this emotional complexity that I thought was an interesting contrast to Leo. It was awesome to see Dustin Hoffman in this film. He had this charismatic performance. There were moments of levity and comedy. I guess at the same time though, I never became immensely emotionally invested in his character, and I feel like his passing in the later part of the film could have maybe hit me a little harder than it did. The weakest characters and performances in this were with the antagonists. Leo Raz, he has an intimidating screen presence, but then his goons essentially, they felt rather childish and they felt like emotionally undercooked. I guess they never really felt psychologically complex or even that unsettling. The best crime thrillers will give you an antagonist that is unsettling and it will linger in your mind. Characters were landing at a C+ for all of those. The use of music and the sound is honestly one of the strongest parts of this film. I felt the sound design elevated the experience in many ways. It brought you into the main character's world of having this hyperacusis. The sound design and the music here was one of the film's most immersive and strongest storytelling tools. This thing is landing at an A+ for the music and sound. The cinematography here was definitely polished and occasionally stylish, but I felt it rarely called attention to itself. There were some standout moments like the final safe cracking club sequence, or I keep coming back to these safe cracking sequences with the quick cut and macros. The cinematography serves the story rather than being a standout experience from the film. this thing is landing at a B+. Overall, Tuner was an excellent crime thriller with an awesome premise, amazing sound design, and competent in every other area. Ultimately, I wish this screenplay and the story and characters could have delivered that same adventurous originality that the overall premise did. What do you think about this? Did you see this film? Let me know what you thought below. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.